Continuing on from where I just left off with the taillight, I'm now moving today. I'm gonna do some welding. The new floors that you get, most of the time they do not have the reinforcement plates for the seats. They have the reinforcement plates under here. I don't know if this is going to show up. There it is. There's one there, and there's one there. It's part of the floor, so the outside part is fine. In here, measured, drill the holes. This is the one that came out of a car out of this car actually, from the old floor, and you line up the holes, and of course they can be welded. This was the same. Line it up with the holes. I couldn't find the plate for that, so maybe they didn't cut it out or it was ruined, so I took a piece of some pretty good steel and cut it. Of course it was right where the console brake bracket was. So cut it out. So that one's ready. These two over here are ready as well. The primer that you see is a weld through primer, so you can weld right through it. And I have the Miller welder ready to go. And I think I'm ready to go too. Get my helmet on, and I'll put it on time lapse, and we'll get these welded in. They're very important. If you put your seats in, be sure to make sure from the tracks that your holes line up with the tracks, both sides from your seat, you know, crossways, in between, and from front to back. My son, on his car, he ended up, for the driver's side, he took his plates, moved them back, welded on a small plate, and here welded on another plate to move his seat back. He's 6'5", 6'6", so he didn't want to be all the way back in the seat and still feel cramped. So he left the passenger side the same, so like the original holes, but he did move his seat back, so he'll have, I guess you call it, a custom seat. So anyway, I will put it on time lapse and go from there. Thank you. Okay, we got the plates in. From what I've seen, original, they're usually like 4 corners. I probably did a little more than I needed to, but those plates are never going to come off, I'm sure. So, anyway, I've got a little bit of welding to do on the back. I'm going to set that up. I think the people that put in this back panel, the tail light. Nothing was welded here, here, across here. I have to clamp this, bring this up to weld. I mean, that's pretty crazy that no welds were done on that. And it's the same over here, I believe. Yeah, none of these welds were done here. I mean, this is important for us because we mount this on the rotisserie, and we want all that to be holding the car. We don't want it falling. Right now we have it jacked up with a pump-up table, a bar, and then a lock, so the hydraulics can go out. It's not going anywhere. It's just sitting there on the table that's locked. So I'll start cleaning all this up once we get this taillight panel done. I've got some on these for it to come up. See, it hits the fiberglass opening, so it takes a stop. I believe in here somewhere there's put a little block that will catch, and you can even put a hole in it and put a little rubber piece. So might do that. I think that's how they did it. But at any rate, I'm gonna bring it back here and get this welded up. So stay tuned. Okay, we have the panel welded. I know you couldn't see this in the time lapse. Spot welded across, tacked, and the same down here. All welded up. So this panel here has been welded to the actual kind of frame pieces, if you want to call it that. You got to be careful. Just a reminder, when you're working with the metal, the edges, either wear the long gloves that go clear up to the I guess your elbow, if you want to call it that far, but these are sharp, of course. And when you got a helmet on, which I do have my helmet on, when you're looking to set things up, you're in a hurry usually, and this happens. I think you might have seen it in the time lapse. It caught that just for a second and bled. So you don't want a bunch of that. That's blood. So anyway, this panel's on. Now I'm ready to start fitting my taillight panel when I get it. Hopefully it'll come soon, and we'll get that welded up. Today I am going to get this inside floor primed. I just got done. I should have filmed it, but wiped it all down with prep saw. Of course, I think we've shown this before. It's great. Wax and grease remover. Went through 2 rags cleaning, and then I did some 150 to scuff it up so it'll take the primer. And I only went this far. I'm not doing the back section yet. It needs a little more sanding. And I've wiped that door all down. It's a new door, so it should take primer just fine. Just want to get a coating on everything and up under the firewall, so it's in primer, and I can get in there, move around, and it's not got any crud and stuff. This door needs to be sanded. It's an original door, so it's a little rough here and there, so I won't mess with that. But anyway, I'll put it on time lapse and we'll get it primed. Okay, we have a prime door. It's kind of hard to see. A little bit easier this way. All this turned out very, very nice. Very smooth. Of course, it was a new floor, so it should have turned out real nice. But that's all done. It's protected. I'm sure we're going to get stuff on it and doing the rest of the body work and paint, but I'll probably go ahead and sand it slightly, maybe with 300-400 grit before I seal them. Well, before I paint it for sure. Like I said, I still got more to do here, more to do there. Trunk will probably end up looking the same way. It is, I think I've cleaned it once, but you can see it's been dusty, and the panels here, they had no welds. You can see the new welds all the way across. They didn't have any of that welded to this panel, so we sucked that in and I welded this. I've gotten all straight now. The new panel will go in and we'll weld from the back side, so you won't see. It'll be like this, like a nice finished edge. And try to fill in as much as where these holes are from drilling out the welds before. I must say it was really on there, as you can see from these panels. Pulling it off, grinding, it's like, boy, it did not want to let go of that panel whatsoever. So that'll probably be next. Get the panel welded on first, and then I'm going to clean up the inside all the way up. There might be a little grinding to do where things were welded, and then do the same as I did up there. Oh, I've still got that panel to get. This is just not going to work, the panel that I put in there. It was still too rusted. The panel I had, it just kept blowing out, and I mean, I could try to fill that, but just soon get a clean one like this one. And of course, I think I've talked before that 69 panel was replaced, and they were replaced the other side. There's where the hole, where the dot was. They put a 68 panel on there, so had to cut out the old, or not the old, had to fill the old new panel, but didn't have a hole down here, so got an old panel. If anybody has a quarter that they've cut off that their light is good, I think the front fenders and the back fenders are all the same as far as that cutoff for the light, because the light holders that hold the lenses, I think, are all the same size. So if someone is throwing away a rusty fender for a 69 and they've cut their quarters off and that light cutout is still good, love to send us an email, and I'll buy it from you. I would say cutting it, you know, to where there's enough room. Well, I should be showing you over here. Cutting it to replace the bad. Plenty of room so we can measure, cut, butt weld, sand it all off, kind of like we did that. That would be very appreciated. Recycle some of this stuff. I'm not going to buy a whole new quarter panel just to cut a light off. They're too expensive. But if someone's throwing away a rusted, hopefully the light cutout is not bad on it, unless the rust was really bad. But like I say, the front fenders I think are the same light. So anyway, that should be it for today. And till next time, thank you.